And we're live. Welcome everybody here to the Pressure Cooker. I'm Anthony Irwin. The Lakers have made a late push here. One of those patented, late mortal surges that you'll see some from people before they die. That's basically what the Lakers do. They have been down by close to 30 for the entirety of this game, and they have tried to make a comeback here, but it's probably going to fall well short. Just not much really here to say. Bucks are just better. The Bucks are just better. Milwaukee is just better, and unfortunately here for the Lakers, as they head towards this, I can't even. Such an annoying team. But the Lakers are going to be heading towards the trade deadline here, and they are going to be making some decisions as to what direction they are going to be going in next. Do they want to try to salvage this season? Do they want to see what they can put together for future assets? It hasn't reached that point where you're looking at the future here. You can't really look at the future so long as LeBron and AD are on your roster, but with 3 minutes and 17 seconds to go, timeout was just called. Lakers are down 125-111. Tough stuff. Tough stuff is where we're at. The difficulties actually have crept into my own house because the TV that I normally watch this on has just decided, nope, I'm not turning on today. So not sure what's going on there. That's delightful. Just incredible stuff all around. Since we do have a few minutes, though, it's a timeout, and this game is probably basically over anyway. I'm interested in your thoughts on what the Lakers should do heading into this trade deadline. It is on Thursday. We're talking. We are talking on a Tuesday evening, Tuesday night in my case. So the Lakers are going to have one full day of negotiations and then a half of a day to actually pull the trigger on whatever direction that they're going. And I want to know what you guys think. Do you think the Lakers are a move away? Is that move away realistic? Is that move away a painful one, right? Is it time for everybody involved to just kind of say, yeah, Russ was a mistake. Russ was a bummer. and you might be honestly looking right now at the most detrimental trade in Lakers history. Other than that, great offseason, Rob and LeBron and AD, and AD just airballed an alley-oop. 127-111, 2:45 to go. Not sure why any of the starters/stars are in this game. Middleton drives middle. Kick baseline. Milwaukee's offense functions at such a high level that they can miss open options and still get great choices or options on the backside here. Oh, we have a buddy. We have somebody hopping on here. Harrison.
Hey, I couldn't let you do this one by yourself.
How nervous were you? Scale of 1 to 1.5 when the Lakers had
scale of 1 to 1.5?
Yeah, because you weren't actually.
Oh, yeah, I get. Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I'll put it at a 2. I'll put it at 2 because knowing my reverse jinx powers, I thought there was a real chance. The Lakers have gone on a 16-3 run, and it's oh, I just published a recap, basically reaming them and saying they had no chance. But yeah, I mean, my words held true. They did another one of their patented fake comebacks, and it's hey, Imagine if they could play like that for a whole game. That'd be a good team.
They can't, though, is the thing. Like, it's reliant upon...
It's the only team I've ever seen that only remembers how to play basketball once they're down by like 25.
Well, but like them remembering how to play basketball is reliant upon the other team's own apathy, right? Like, like way to go, Lakers! You come back on a Bucks team that at this stage is just trying not to get hurt.
They're like, wait, what are Austin Reeves and Stanley? Can you guys stop hustling? Don't you know this game is over?
Damn, that was a hell of a pass from LeBron. Yeah, I don't know. Like, we've been talking a lot, right, Harrison, about, hey, should the Lakers try to salvage the season, push all in, regardless of the uphill battle that they have, just because you only have LeBron on your team for so long, let alone playing at the level that he's capable of playing at. And then this game happens, and you're like, fuck.
Yeah, so I guess it depends on your definition of all in and what you can actually get, because based on what we're seeing of like what's still on the market, like based on the reports today and like sort of the moves the Blazers have made, I guess they're going to get Jeremy Grant. And so, who are you trading for that even is salvaging this? You know what I mean? Like, this team, I saw someone make the joke, like, I think it was our friends, the Kamenetsky brothers, were saying, like, this team just screams Terrence Ross away, from keeping up with the Bucks. It's like, I don't know, like, who's on the market that they're right now that's actually on the market that they're going to trade for and be able to I don't think you are salvaging this midseason. I don't think it's unfixable this offseason, because when Russ becomes an expiring contract, as the Athletic wrote about today, you have 2 first-round picks to play around with. Maybe you get a disgruntled star for 2 distant firsts and Russ's expiring deal. Maybe not a star, but someone who wants out, who's a good player, who fits better with LeBron and AD. I think this is salvageable this summer, maybe, but I don't think it. Yeah, the trade deadline is not fixing this.
All right, let's play a fun game. Let's have a little bit of fun with this. Who's the worst all-time best NBA player who could actually, in their prime, fix this Lakers team? So, like, we could say, yeah, if the Lakers just added prime Michael Jordan, they'd figure this out. So, like, how far down that list do we have to go? Are we talking like prime Kobe probably fixes this roster?
Yeah, prime Kobe definitely fixes this roster.
So, like,
can you imagine if Russ's minutes were going to prime Kobe? This team would be winning every game by 30.
Well, but no, Russ is still going to play his 30. Like, Russ is still going to get his minutes.
Kobe's not putting up with that after like 3 games. Kobe's cutting him. I'm sorry. LeBron's like, hey, that's our brother. We're going to stand behind him. Kobe's cutting him. I'm sorry. Like,
I'd be here for it. I want to try to figure this out before we get out of here. Who's the worst, like, top 75 player you could add to this roster in his prime who doesn't fix it, who isn't capable of making this work?
Dwight didn't make the top 75, right? I was going to say prime Dwight just because I feel like he'd make the locker room worse.
Yeah, because that was like at his peak.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You get like prime in every respect. You know, prime as a guy that all of his teammates ended up hating, and prime as like a player. Does
Charles Barkley fix this?
No,
he makes their shooting worse.
He'd fix the rebounding.
He would. Yeah, he would. But he would have to like get out and run. These guys, like, to your point earlier, when you talk about like this team that like refuses to figure out how to play until they absolutely have to, they should be running. Like this is something they said at the beginning of the season. Yeah, we're gonna get out. We're gonna run. We're gonna be a fun team to watch. We're gonna be all these things, and then.
No, it's like every offseason we get LeBron's like, we're going to get out and run, and I wanted multiple playmakers, and then every season by midseason, it's like, okay, I'm going to pound the rock and get out of my way because I'm better at basketball than you.
Did Dwayne Wade make the top 75? Maybe. He fixes this.
Yeah, probably. Because prime Dwayne Wade's sort of what they were like. That's like a way better version of what they were hoping Russ would be.
It has to be like a...
And prime Dwayne Wade actually learned how to play off the ball.
Kevin McHale doesn't fix this.
Absolutely not. Oh, yeah, we're going like top 75 list, so we could pick some guy like Jerry West isn't fixing this.
Not to help Jeannie, he wouldn't. um, no, Kevin
LeBron
McHale
just fist fighting in the locker room every day, like
Kevin McHale and Kent Bazemore huddled in a corner talking about
a lot of things, I'm sure. No, I think if we're talking top 75 players, Kendrick Nunn fixes this.
So, like,
it's got to get healthy, Anthony.
Can we talk about the take that I got a lot when I was freaking out about the Caruso thing was, well, if you bring back Caruso, you don't get Nunn. Did that take age worse than any take in the history of like modern basketball?
To be fair, I think a lot of those people said that were saying that to me. It was you don't get Nunn and Monk. Monk has been very good. Okay. So but
don't try to backtrack, man. That was your bad take. No.
I mean, I said this at the time. I still would have rather had Caruso than both of them. I mean, but the problem is it's not Monk or Nunn or whatever. We've talked about this all season. It's just that they have no flexibility to make these trades where even, we see these teams kind of trading trash for something. And, the Lakers just don't have the salaries to make those kind of deals work, where you have like Portland, who's just like hanging a banner about like, oh, we just saved $20 million in luxury taxes off.
Jody Allen is just showering herself in dollar bills.
Woj doing like sponsored live reads for like the luxury tax savings they just had. I think, they would have been able to make moves like that and bring in guys like that if they had more of these mid-tier salaries. Like even, I know a lot of people would say like, oh, we wouldn't trade Caruso for that. It's like, they let him go for nothing. Having him to swap for someone mediocre is better than not having anyone.
And you also, like right now, the Lakers, I'm sure, are dealing with some paralysis by analysis, right? Where they're looking at THT and they're like, look, we only have one bullet in the chamber right now. And we have to, like, the shot that we fire here has to work. And unfortunately, what that leads to is inaction. And, like Jacob, Jacob and I go way, way back. I think Jacob and I have been working together maybe longer than you and me. There's just been a couple gaps in there. But he said, like, you don't leverage the future. You don't mortgage the future for saving this team. And I get with like the premise with it, but like if THT is your future, fuck it, mortgage it. Like I don't care. If THT is the future, I'm happy that we're gonna be gone here in 2024.
I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, if THT's value is like THT and your first rounder for Terrence Ross, honestly, I'm good. I will wait until.
Can I just say, like, I can't believe that's the price that Terrence Ross is going at.
No, I refuse. There's no way.
I refuse to say that is what it would
the Lakers would do, and then they're going to do it on Thursday.
No, Terrence didn't make an All-Star team, so he's not going to be. It's going to be something like
from LA. Is he a former Pelinka client? We got to look this up.
They're gonna sign J.R. Smith.
He did, he tweeted he's available during the midseason break.
If golf was like a part of the finals, I would say do it. Let's do this thing. All right, we're gonna get out of here.
But I mean, sorry, I just wanted to add a final thing. Like, Caruso, whatever. None of that is making the difference. Like, what the gamble that didn't pay off was the Westbrook trade that just is a worse fit than even like I think the biggest optimists like me could have, or even I think honestly, some of the biggest pessimists could have imagined. It just hasn't gone. It's gone worse than I think really anyone could have expected. And Caruso's not saving that. Having a couple more mid-sized guys isn't necessarily saving that. I think it's just a matter of how they recover this summer at this point. And watch them trade for Beal, or Dame on Thursday.
It sucks that we've arrived here. And like you mentioned this on Twitter, where like it sucks to see him this uncomfortable on a basketball court. Like it does. And like when you factor in the human aspect of this, like it is a bummer to see
for
this.
Him. He's hesitating. He doesn't look like he wants to shoot. It's hard to watch. I feel bad just on a human level. It's hard to watch.
Yeah, all that said, I think I make the Wall trade. Like I think the Lakers are better even if Wall doesn't play a minute this year. I think they're better not having that like weighing on them. Like
Would you
Russ
do the
has.
first for it though? Is the
No,
question.
I no.
Well, then
No,
that's
I would,
not happening because Houston.
well, I would do like a maybe a second rounder or 2 second rounders even. I don't do the first.
The price of a second rounder is not like a $50 million buyout that Houston's going to have to do. That's what I mean. Like it's not happening for seconds.
Well, but like either way, they're paying that amount of salary anyway because Wall's on their books either way. So like it's not like you're adding that salary to them by doing that.
I guess.
You know?
I don't know. I can't really see it for seconds just for like an optics perspective, but I mean, maybe you're right.
But I just think but like optics be damned at this point. Like you got to do what you have to do to make this thing work.
No, I meant for the Rockets optics, like not for the Lakers. For the Lakers would obviously, I think at this point probably
the Rockets get an asset for nothing. They're getting a player who could technically play right now for nothing. They're getting nothing, and so like I just think Russ being on the roster makes the Lakers worse. Like unless you think that like Russ can turn it around, which
I don't necessarily believe in that. I do think he can be a little better than he has been. I think there's a chance that this team can still gel a little bit, but they're not a title contender. I'm sorry. It's like that dream, that ship has sailed. Like they can be better than this. But I'm kind of out. Like I wrote in my recap, like I'm tired of being Charlie Brown and getting Lucy'd with the football because they're like, oh, here's 16-3 run. Here we go.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna let the Taco Tuesday guys take over. They're going to be recording their show here. I'm sure they're recording right now as we speak. That's going to be up on the pod feed as well. Reminder that on Thursday I'm going to be right here in the pressure cooker with a revolving group of site managers and people who cover these other teams to take you through the deadline that has been already, and that might be. Then once the deadline is over, wait a few minutes to let some of that last couple news tidbits trickle in, and then I'm going to be going live on Twitter Spaces, not from Silver Screen and Roll like I've been doing lately, but from @SB Nation, which might get reckless. I'm just going to say there's going to be a lot of people in there saying a lot of things. So you're going to want to check that out as well. That on top of the lowdowns, which I'm about to record right now. And then as well as Harrison and my show on Thursday, that episode of The Lounge, and then the hook to wrap everything up is going to take you through the rest of this week. Until then, I'm Anthony Irwin. Thank you very much, Harrison, for hopping on with us. And
God bless anyone still watching this. Thank you.
there's a handful. Talk to you guys later.